Okay, so what we're going to do is, now that we initialize this service, we need to deploy it to the client side. And usually you would install Luna client and you would perform this whole NTLS setup. But this can actually be streamlined using the CC client registration tool. So under Software Center, you will see a download that's available for any app owner or admin. It's a generic file, so you still need, as I mentioned earlier, you still need access to our Luna client to start using the application, right? But this will facilitate and make things a lot easier from an administrative standpoint, and I'll show you that shortly. So once this is done, what we're going to do is I'm going to copy this over to my Luna client directory. Let's see, is it actually finished yet? I think it's verifying in Chrome. And I had to install the Universal Clients 10.3 already, so I did that off camera. If I pull up the directory, you will see under Luna CM, nothing is registered yet, just a version to show there's no slots or partitions listed. You also need the JDK installed from Java, so I installed that as well. With these two main components installed, then I can start calling via Java that CCC client jar. So it should be in this directory and available for use. And this is where we run the command java-jar, the name of the client registration tool, the user, in this case it could be an admin or the application owner deploying it, the host, this is the CCC web server, and the port it will communicate on, which is 8181. It will ask for the password. This is the same password for the app owner that you would use to log into the web UI. It will connect to CC, assuming that there is an open connection between this app server and CCC and the firewall. You need to trust the certificate or not. You can import to the trusted key store locally in this config permanently. Let's look at the details. Some important notes, you'll see the subject alternate name is the IP address or the host name that you have defined during that config setup of CCC using the script that's provided in the installation. If you have an issue with the common name or this one and it's not listed or it doesn't match, you'll have an issue and you won't be able to deploy the client. So that's a common problem. We're going to trust it just for this instance. And then it's going to ask you for this client, this Luna client, this application server, for it to register and set up that NTLS tunnel. What do you want to use, the IP address or host name? For me, it doesn't matter on my config, but I'm just going to use the host name here of the server. It's going to query what services are available for JSmith. In this case, the signing dev service we previously initialized. And it's going to ask you several things. Do you, A, want to authorize it, so give access to this client and set up the registration, repair it if something's broken, an HA service, an HA group is misconfigured or a challenge is misconfigured, you can use that. Revoke it, so you actually revoke access. I'll show you that later. For now, we're going to authorize access. You will confirm the operation. And then wait patiently for it to perform the cert registration and certificate exchange between the two. And that's it. Pretty simple. If I go to Luna CM now, assuming there's NTLS tunnel set up and I have access to the Luna, right, from a network perspective, I should be able to pull it up. So under Luna CM, we should see our partition. Same, everything that's been configured before, the crypto officer password, partition security officer, and so on has been set up. If I want to log in, I can also do that. So let's log in as the crypto officer. And there won't be any keys here, but I should be able to at least pull up and query for any objects. So you are good to go. That's it. I could technically remove the client jar from the system. I don't need it anymore. I don't need a dedicated connection to CCC anymore. Even though it does set up that registration so it can query particular clients on HSM. You might want to revoke access eventually, but you don't need that jar file anymore. Of course, you need your Luna client, but everything else from here is configured, and then I can go into any type of application that I want to integrate using PKCS11, JSP. I can jump in the CK demo and make some keys. So everything can be done here just as you know from before, and nothing's really different.